I think I sat here last week and said we'll look to improve and get better and come back and demonstrate that. And I think the guys did a great job of making sure we were prepared and we improved on our clearing. I think we improved on every aspect of the game, and it was nice to get in the dome, get a week of practice, get a feel for it, and come back out and play. So just real happy with the total team effort. A lot of first goals, some highlight games from Jimmy, and just overall just can't be super excited about the win and ready to move on, take on the next one.
Questions? Start with Aiden.
Yeah, Aiden from Syracuse.com. Jimmy, when you're having a day like you are today, just what's kind of going through your head, between each possession?
Honestly, nothing. I kind of try to not think at all. I talk about it a lot with Coach, honestly, and Coach Aderna, but we talk about just only focusing on the ball, reacting, kind of playing over in my head every time the ball's on the other end, just react, and just thinking about seeing the ball, saving the ball, and then clearing it down the field.
Yeah, Jimmy, following up on that, was there a certain moment, either pre-game or during the game, when you made a save that you really kind of realized that you were really locked in, that this was going to be a good game for you?
Not necessarily, no. I think, I have a routine before games I like to stick to, and, today I was making saves, and so that felt good, but no, I'm only focused on the next shot. It could go in or it could be a save on the last one, but the only thing that I'm focused on is the next one.
Tommy Armstrong from 24/7 Sports. Coach, Joey passed you for 8th on the all-time points list today. What's it like coaching someone who's hitting these elite milestones that you achieved once? Actually got to 7th later on in the game as well.
I didn't even know I was 8, so whatever. But no, it's just nice. It's a byproduct of a lot of hard work. Joe puts in more work than anybody, and certainly proud of him and what he's been able to do. But I know what he's really focused on, and that's helping his team win the championship. So I know that's all that matters to him, and it's all that matters to any of us. Byproducts are fun to talk about, but you need some wins.
Mauricio Palmer, Daily Orange. Joey, team had 23 shots on goal, 20 goals today. I was just wondering what you kind of thought about efficiency and what was really important for guys' confidence.
Yeah, I thought last week, I didn't think we particularly shot the ball well. We were getting good looks, right? We were doing the stuff that we wanted to do. I just thought that their goalie played well, and probably a couple shots that we would want back. But I think this week, right, we just got to good spots, and we just kind of did what we were supposed to do, right? I don't think we necessarily changed how we played from week to week. I think it was just more of we were getting probably to better spots, and we were putting the ball on cage, and I don't know the exact number, but I felt like almost every shot was either pipe or in the goal, or I think the goalie made 2 stops. But I think we just did a really good job of putting the ball on cage. So.
Jack Knight from the Syracuse Lacrosse Podcast. Joey, you were a big contributor in your freshman season. What's it like to see guys like Rawson and Hahn contribute so early in their career?
Yeah, for me, being an older guy, it's the best feeling in the world, right? When I'm able to go into the goal and pick up their first goal, it's the best, right? Because, I was in their shoes, and, I know how it is, to go from playing in high school, where those guys probably played in front of, 50 people, or it was people that they knew, and then, you kind of come here, you're playing in front of great crowds, and, people are, kind of chanting for you, and, to score some goals, has been great, and, those 2 are, I try to challenge them over the break, that we're going to need them, and, that they're going to play for us, and, I think they've been doing a great job at it, and, they've become kind of my buddies. I think we're the first guys out to practice, and, I'm just so happy for them and that they're doing well. So.
Let's move back.
Drew Alba, Citrus TV, for both of you, Joey and Jimmy. How is it kind of knowing that he's got your back and then vice versa on both sides of the field?
We've been roommates for the past 2 years, so I know, Jimmy's always going to have my back, and, he's a great goalie, and he played great today, and, it was like they were shooting a beach ball, so, when Jimmy's playing like that, you know, it gives the offense some confidence, you know, that you know, we can kind of just go and play and make the correct play, and you know, just know that Jimmy's always got us. So.
Yeah, and to go off that, I'm very glad that Joey's on my team. Another.
Coach Dan Pavilla, WAR. You had 11 goal scorers today. How important is it to have that versatility on offense?
I think it's always important. You know, I think it makes it difficult for opponents to game plan when you have 11 different goal scorers in a game, and if you can consistently do that, you're going to be tough to cover and game plan for. So I'm extremely happy. Coach March dialed in the offense, and the guys executed it, and it was you know, great team effort.
Alex Burstein, WAR. How much more impressed were you with the clear against the 10-man ride this week than last week?
You know, Coach O kind of handles the clear team, and he was stressed all week. He wanted to make sure that we had improvement, that we didn't come out and, you know, play like we did the first game. But I think it really helped the fact that we were in the dome all week and we got the opportunity. I think it helped our shooting. I think it helped our clearing, just to get comfortable in here, and that really helped, and I think it really made a difference.
Coach, why can't you guys started with 2 quick goals today? It's the second straight game with 3 points. What have you made it like this offensive spark that you kind of come out off the bench?
You know, he's one of our midfielders, and he's consistent, and that's what I love about him. You know, what you see in the games is what you see in practice every day. You know, we try and practice at a high level, and we try and execute at a game speed in practice, so that when you get to the game, it's easy. It's just like practice, and he's just one of many guys that takes practice seriously every day and puts in the same effort and executes at the same level in practice and in games as well. So I'm happy the way he's developed, and I think he provides a good example of how to get it done and how to go about your work.
Joey, as soon as you heard 10-man ride, face kind of lit up, looked over at Coach immediately. Why is that? How was practice this week with it?
It was just, you know, I wouldn't say on edge. It was just more of like, we got to figure this out, and you know, it's probably one of the better feelings, right, when you practice something and then in game time, right, you can do it the right way. And you know, Coach, you know, I had a ton of combos with Coach O, you know, just about being more involved in the clear, and you know, I feel like I could help out, and you know, I might not have carried the ball over a bunch today, but you know, they had to kind of guard me man to man, which kind of left other guys open in the clear. You know, there was a bunch of times where our long poles were streaking down the field wide open, where you know, their guy's probably supposed to guard him, but he's coming up the field to guard me. So when stuff like that, you know, happens, you know, it's just a great feeling. So.
Take 3 more.
Yeah, Jimmy, just where have you seen growth in your game personally from last year to this year?
Yeah, I think you know, last year, first year really starting, being a full-time starter, it definitely a lot of our learning opportunities, and I think, you know, I just took the opportunity every day to try and get better. This year, I think I feel a lot more comfortable, both in, you know, myself and my teammates, and I think my defense has always given me really good looks that I'm happy seeing, and I think today was just another example of that. I think, you know, we held them to low-angle shots that they, you know, were willing to take, and I was able to make the saves. We were able to clean up in front.
Coach, Maryland in less than a week. What's the mindset going into that one?
Get back to work. You know, it's the same thing. We'll set our game plan. We'll go to practice, do our jobs, work hard, and focus on the execution come Friday night.
When you found out that Payne was going to be available today, I was just wondering what your thought process was kind of like when trying to fill a spot in the lineup, and how you eventually ended up there.
Well, you know, we made some adjustments. Obviously, Peyton played attack last week, and so we moved Michael Leo to attack. And you know, our middies played very well in the first game, and so we knew there was an opportunity opportunity to kind of bump somebody up there, and you know, Coach March really talked about it and wanted to give Bo a shot, and I think he came out and made a statement, scored early, and he does everything we've asked. You know, he plays on the wings, he plays man down, he clears the ball, he does whatever we need. And, two-handed player, so he's going to be a good one for us for sure.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, guys.